you what's been on my mind. Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Leslie. I am the Farm and Pastor's Wife. Today's video is going to be a bit confusing. We are in the midst of Italian week where I'm preparing for a big family dinner on Saturday that you will end up seeing on Sunday's video. Now, bits and pieces of this video, I may say you're not going to see the finished product, but at some point during the course of doing this video, I changed my mind. So you are going to see the finished product. In fact, you're going to see it right now. I made an olive focaccia bread. You're really going to see the basic dough recipe. You're going to see me put it in the refrigerator. And you're going to get a little bonus video. One of my viewers sent me a delicious, comforting, I think it's pastina dish, but I couldn't find pastina, so we used orzo. There goes Isaac in the background. Also, there's part of this video that you don't see my face, and I'm very peculiar about that. Let me just go ahead and explain that real quick, get it out there. Many of you know I've had a nodule on the tip of my tongue, and it's been there for years. It's just gotten larger over the years, and it didn't hurt. It only bothered me because it made me self-conscious. But a few of the viewers have noticed it and mentioned it out of concern, nothing ugly. They just was concerned about it. And so because I'm self-conscious of it, I had it removed. And so it left me with a black tip on my tongue that will heal and go away. But I still have it. I'm just trying not to let you see my tongue. So anyway, this video and the one you're going to see on Monday, I'm very funny about letting you see my face because it was right after it happened. Plus, I couldn't talk good. So here is the finished product that you're going to see. And so let's back the video up and let you see how we made this, how we got there, and so forth. So enjoy the video. We'll come back for a taste test. In the middle of the dough video, I'm also going to share with you the Pastina Egg and Cheese video, which it was so good. Oh my goodness. It was absolutely amazing. The pot was empty within minutes of everybody coming in. And it was that good. And the Judah and Levi, my grandchildren, loved it. Brian, Isaac, everybody loved it. So stay tuned for that video as well. So, okay, we're going to roll on with the focaccia bread dough recipe. So easy. So we are now going to make our focaccia bread dough. Now, we'll doctor it up when we actually put it in the pan, but we're just making the base dough mixture right now. And I will actually make 3 different ones of these. I know you've already seen the finished product of 1. So we're going to make a total of 3. And you'll have to come back on Sunday to see the rest. But we're going to start out with 4 cups of bread flour. I'm making about 100 different things right now. There's a half, 1, half, 2, half, 3, half, 4. Okay, so we're starting it out with 4 cups of bread dough. And so let's go ahead in with some yeast. I always get asked what kind of yeast I use. Right now I grab the instant yeast the Rapid Rise, but I use them interchangeably. So I never pay attention to what I grab. I just grab a yeast. So we're going in with 2 teaspoons, half, 1, half, 2. And over here on this side, I'm going to put some salt. I'm going to also put in 2 teaspoons of salt. Half, 1, half, 2. All right. So I'm going to grab a spatula. We're going to stir that around. And then, I did intentionally put the salt and the yeast at 2 different sections. Salt sometimes kills the yeast, so I kind of want to mix that in before I start with the salt. And that's why I put it on opposite sides. And I've got, you can hear the water behind me running. I've got my hot water getting hot. And in just a minute, we're going to add 2 cups of lukewarm water. And we'll stir it up. So let me go ahead and give this a quick stir. I've got a cake going. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I've got cake going. I've got supper going for tonight, which has nothing to do with Italian stuff. And now I have focaccia bread going. It's all right. So we are just going to give this a stir. And right now, until we dress it up, that is it. We are just going to pull this dough together, mix in, make sure everything is incorporated. If I need to add a splash more too of water, I can. It's looking like I might need to. So let me grab just a splash. I would definitely rather have too wet of a dough than too dry of a dough. I'm going to get one more splash of water. There we go. I think that last splash did the trick. All right. Okay. All right, guys, we've brought it together now. Super good. Let me grab some olive oil, and we're going to give this a nice coating of olive oil. I'm then going to wrap it up super tight with saran wrap and stick it in the oven. I'm going to leave this out because I have several more doughs and bowls to make. I hope I don't run out of room in my refrigerator. But if we do, we do. All right, let me grab the oil. I'll be right back. All right, we're going in with some oil. And I'm just kind of coating it all over that I can reach. I'm going to wash my hands. We're going to cover this with saran wrap. And in the refrigerator we go. It can stay for 2 to 3 days. But we'll probably, I'm not sure if it'll be this bowl or another bowl, but they'll all be the same. We'll make one tomorrow together. While the dough's in the refrigerator overnight, let's back up even more and go to this Pastina Egg and Cheese recipe. It is so good. You definitely want to make it, especially if somebody in your household is a little puny, because it brings much comfort. So, okay, let's run to that and then we'll be back. So I guess I'm going to tag this video onto the focaccia bread, because you're not going to get to see the finished product of the focaccia bread until the big event, our Italian feast night. So I'm good just in front of, the end of the dough making of the focaccia bread. We're going to add this video. And this was a video I had not planned. It won't be part of our feast, but it is an Italian. It actually was sent to me by one of you guys, and it is an Italian dish. It is called Pastina Egg and Cheese. However, I could not find pastina, which is little bitty pastas, but I did, however, find some orzo. So we're going to make it with orzo. So it's really going to be orzo, egg, and cheese. So I'm going to start out with some chicken broth. I will try to link the link below. If I can't, I'll type out the recipe. So let me get some chicken broth going, and I'll meet you right back here. So I've got my chicken broth in here, and I've just turned the burner on, lit the flame, and we're going to bring this to a boil. I am going to salt it a little bit because, you know, pasta always needs a little extra salt. I won't put as much as I normally would because the chicken broth has some of its own. So, okay, so once it comes up to a simmer where it just starts to bubble, I'm going to add in the orzo, which looks very much like rice, but it's actually little bitty pieces of pasta. So we're going to add that in and let that, turn the burner down, and just let it cook till it thickens and becomes this just wonderful looking, almost like rice pilaf. But we're going to get that going. I'll meet you back here when we add in the orzo. Okay, everyone, I know you can't really see it, but it is beginning to bubble. So we're going to add in our orzo now. And I'm going to just give that like a nice little stir. Let it come back up to a bubble, and then I'll turn the burner down a little bit. In the same dish I had the chicken broth in, I have cracked a couple of eggs. And I am increasing this recipe, but I'll link the actual one down below. And I'm just going to take a fork and do the little scramble. Okay, as you can see, it's a nice little bubble. I'm going to occasionally come and stir. I don't want the pasta to stick or anything, so we'll give it a nice stir. I've turned the burner down some. And we're just going to let that cook away. And to our eggs, I have grated up some of that Parmesan wedge I had bought. And so I'm going to put 2 little good fingerfuls in here. And we'll mix that up with the egg. All right, and we'll just set this aside. We're going to wait for this real quick and wait for this to get done. So I'll bring you back as soon as this is done. This is actually going to be, the day of this filming is Wednesday, the 17th. It's actually mine and Bryant's anniversary, the day I'm filming this little pasta dish for lunch. I have Levi. He's with me today. He was very sick yesterday, and he is much better today, but still not probably 100% to go to school. So, or daycare. So, I am going to cook this. The lady who sent this to me, she is a wonderful subscriber. I didn't ask her if I could mention her name, so I won't. But She is a longtime subscriber. She comments every video, and she's just wonderful. And she says, I'm Italian, and this is a dish we make. It's so good, especially when you're not feeling well. It's one of their comforting foods. So I thought, hey, we're doing Italian week. Let's do it for lunch and today, and we'll have us a good, wonderful lunch. Now, Levi right now is taking a nap, so I don't know if he'll want to eat it. If I don't know if how later in the day, as it gets on in the day, they start feeling bad again. So I don't know if that's what's happening, or if he's just it's a normal nap for him. So we're just gonna let this cook. I'll bring you back in just a little bit, and I cannot wait to taste this. It is going to be so good, but there's a few more steps to it, but no more ingredients other than maybe some salt and pepper. I mean, the egg, the cheese, the broth, the orzo, and a little bit of salt. We're good. It's just a few more steps putting it together. So I'll meet you back here in just a little bit. As would happen in Leslie's world, I walked away from it. It did not scorch or anything, but some did stick to the bottom. So I'm going to have fun. There's no scorching. It just did stick a little bit. But that's okay. So what I'm going to do, well, it says to taste the pasta to check for doneness. I'm going to put a little bit out here. Ouch, it's hot. Completely done. So we're going to temper eggs. I do not like tempering eggs. It makes me so nervous, but we're going to do it. So I'm going to take a little bit of this orzo mixture and just ever so slowly, I'm going to stir it in our egg mixture. And I'm going to do that a couple of times. All right, I think that's good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our egg mixture. I'm going to move our brown thing. And we're going to slowly just add this in here. Our brown thing back in here, our wooden thing. Man, I'm going to have a time cleaning this pot. I'm so glad it didn't scorch. It just stuck. That's all. Oh my goodness. This is going to be so rich and decadent. I can just imagine how good this is. All right, so we're just going to let the egg cook a little bit. But I've cut the heat off. It is off the heat. Just a residual heat. Now, if I was on an electric stove, I would completely move it off because they do not just stop like a gas stove does. So you can definitely just take it off but we're going to give this a try. I can definitely see why this would become a comfort meal. I can definitely see why. So orzo, egg, and cheese. Oh, you know what I forgot to put in there? I forgot the butter. Let's go ahead and put the butter in now. It's never too late to add butter. I should have done it before I added the egg and the cheese, but hey, never too late to add in butter. I just skipped a step, but we're going to fix it right now. Adding in some butter to this, and that's just going to make it even better. The butter makes it better. Butter makes everything better. All right, so now let's give this a try. All right. Oh my goodness. It doesn't need much salt. I'm going to just give it a sprinkling. And I am going to add a little pepper. The recipe does not call for pepper, but guys, I love pepper. Now, well, it's just me and Levi going to eat it, so I'm going to taste it again. See that cheese? Oh my goodness. I mean, that is wonderful. Absolutely. That would be a great side dish to I mean, I can see that being served with like chicken marsala. Any kind of side dish, that would be delicious. It is absolutely so creamy, so comforting. I can definitely see why this is a comfort meal or a comfort dish. And on this cold day, it's very cold here. Very, very cold. It's barely getting to 30 yet. It's supposed to get on into the 30s later, but it hadn't made it there yet. So, oh my, this is good. Okay, guys, that's a definite. To my sweet viewer who emailed this to me, you know who you are. Thank you so very much. Absolutely delicious. Yeah. It is so good. I mean, I just, man, the salmon. Oh my goodness, a nice salmon, a grilled salmon on top of that. Oh, that would be amazing. You could do anything with this. You could cook some asparagus, grill up some, and mix it in. That would be delicious. Mushrooms would be delicious in this. You could do so much. This is like a start, and you could go crazy with this. I mean, this is so good. And I have never, ever, ever, until today, used orzo. It's like rice. It's like the creamiest, most delicious rice ever. That is so good. All right, guys. I'm going to end here. I'm going to end this part of the video here. I may come back and tell you something else about the focaccia bread because I think I'm going to add this onto the focaccia recipe. So I'll see you back in just a minute. Now back to the focaccia bread so you can see the finished product. Okay, our dough is out of the refrigerator. So we're going on to the next step. This is the one I'm just going to make for you guys to actually see. And I'm not even going to wash this bowl. I'm just going to create another dough and get it in the refrigerator for our big meal on Saturday. So here's my dough, and I just kind of want to push it down. And I'm going to do a kind of just a turning it out into a ball. This one actually kind of slid over in my refrigerator and kind of deflated a little bit. Oh, before I put it in my pan, I have a really well buttered pan, but I also want to add in a couple tablespoons of olive oil. 1, 2. All right. So I'm just going to kind of roll this around in the olive oil. And we're just going to let this kind of hang out. Because it's been in the refrigerator, we're going to let it hang out at room temperature for 3 or 4 hours. We're going to let it just kind of come to life, and hopefully where it tumbled in the refrigerator a little bit, hopefully it didn't hurt anything, and we're totally fine. So I'm going to just let this hang out. I'm going to cover it with a towel, or here, I've got this saran wrap. We will just put that over it. and just let this kind of hang out for 3 to 4 hours till it comes to a good room temperature. And then we will move on to the next step of making our focaccia bread. Bryant seems to really like, well, he seems to. That was a dumb way to say it. Bryant really likes olives. So I bought those Kalamata olives the other day. So I think I'm going to slice those up and make this focaccia bread especially for him. Season it up with either some rosemary or Italian seasoning. Put some olives on it and salt it really good at the top and bake it that way. So we're going to let this hang out. We'll come back when 3 to 4 hours has surpassed. So I'll see you back in just a minute. Since we're doing this bread a little bit ahead of time, and this is just kind of our test loaf of focaccia bread, we're going to play around with how we're going to doctor it up. So let me grab everything I need, and I'll meet you back right here. It hasn't been the full 3 to 4 hours, but I want to go ahead and get this done so I can get this video edited and out to you guys. So hang tight. Okay, so let me get you turned down. Like I said, we have not given it the full 3 to 4 hours, so I think it would be a little bit more fluffy had we. But we're just going to kind of press it out to the sides, kind of get it to go in all the areas. Just going to take my hand and kind of stretch it out. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to drizzle some oil on some olive oil. This is really light olive oil. Okay, so now we're going to give it its signature dimples. I feel like I want to be the Pillsbury Doughboy and go, woo-hoo, woo-hoo. There we go. All right, let me give my hands a rinse, and we'll come back and we'll season this up, doctor it up, and get it in the oven. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take some rosemary, and we're just going to sprinkle some rosemary on here. You could use I almost used Italian seasoning, but I went with rosemary because that was one of the suggestions. All right, so now I bought, either at Costco, I think it was Costco, I bought a jar of the Kalamata olives, which they're whole in the jar. So I've taken out a few of those and sliced them up. And I'm just going to sprinkle those on here, different areas. And Bryant's in here, so I'm going to ask him what he thinks about me putting some of the fresh Parmesan cheese on there. So hold on, I'll ask him. Let me get all these on. And you could be so precise to get these in the little dimples, but I'm not that good. I'm adding a few more dimples. I have to wash my hands again. All right, let me give my hands a rinse. Now, guys, if you do not like olives, by all means, don't put olives on there. You do what you like and season it the way you want. I'm going to give it a sprinkle of pink Himalayan salt. It won't need a whole lot of salt. Alexa went off. Won't need a whole lot of salt because we've got the olives, and olives are a bit salty. And, Brian, do you want me to put some fresh Parmesan cheese? Yes. He says yes. So, and the Parmesan has a little bit of a salt to it. So, we're just going to sprinkle this on. I've got my oven preheating to 425, I believe. There, that's all I'm going to put on. Okay, it's going in. I'll see you back as soon as we get it out, slice into it, and give it a taste that I'm super excited about. Okay, everybody, Bryant's washing his hands, but he's got paint all over it, so it's not going to come off. But we're going to cut him a piece of this focaccia bread that I made especially for him because he loves olives. Let me show you what, oh wow. Look at that, Isaac.
Looks delicious.
Look at the inside. Look at those
Some
bubble
bubbly.
holes. I can't wait for him.
Hey!
Ow. I'm getting my lip.
Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Let's slide them back here so we can get a view.
A full front view.
Yeah. I'm taller.
Mm.
Can I cut that? Can I cut that?
Cut it.
She loves the outside, the crunchy part. Look at those holes.
Mm.
Perfect.
It is so good.
She nailed it.
That is so good. Now, the rest of the family don't like olives.
That is restaurant good.
I'm going to pull this olive off. Isaac's behind the camera. He's in the tiramisu. Hey, people want to know.
What?
Wipe your mouth. He's got paint on his face, so just a little few splatters. The people want to know what you thought of the tiramisu.
Oh, it's so good. It's delicious. I love tiramisu. That's my favorite, probably top 5 favorite desserts of all time. And so she nailed it. It's delicious.
That bread,
This bread is delicious.
you don't need any butter.
It's got a lot of olive oil on it.
Oh my goodness. That's delicious.
Okay, so I got 2 more loaves of these coming Sunday for our big dinner.
That is perfect.
This is really good. I love it with the olives on it. It's delicious. But the other 2 that I make for Sunday won't have olives because nobody else in the family likes them except for me and him.
I'm going to tell you what else you could do.
What?
You could probably put a lot of just mozzarella cheese on top of that right there.
Mm-hmm.
And have like
And garlic.
some
Garlic
cheese bread.
butter. That's the thing with garlic butter.
Okay, y'all. I don't think we're going to quit eating this anytime soon.
Dip this in some ranch dressing.
Or marinara, like a breadstick. Wow. Okay. Well, you've heard it here. This is a delicious recipe, and you'll have to wait for Sunday. Isaac's reaching for more. You'll have to wait for Sunday to see the other 2, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a delicious meal. All right, guys. I'm gonna sign out here. I know this video's been a little bit longer, but listen, you need to make what we call the Pastina Egg and Cheese. But I made it with orzo. You need to make that. It's delicious. And of course, this focaccia bread is out of this world. So, all right, we will see you guys next time right here on the Farm and Pastor's Wife. Remember, the grease is hot enough. You can fry anything. Bye, y'all.